I would like to thank the organizing committee of GHG Khalsa College for giving me an opportunity to introduce our special guest for today. The speaker for today, Ms. Ajita Deshmukh, to our audience. Now, I would take few minutes to give you all a professional glimpse of Ms. Ajita Deshmukh. Ms. Ajita is a passionate educator who seeks to make learning fun. She is an ICT pedagogy integration specialist. She has been a part of various government and non-government projects related to ICT integrated pedagogy and has been an online course developer and mentor for open education for a better world. It's a project by UNESCO. Her podcasts titled Chemistry are quite popular and have won this year's National Award for Best Audio Voice Female at 25th All India Children's Educational Audio Video Festival that was conducted by NCERT. These prizes were declared on Independence Day. She also has national and international publications to her credit. Her major research area is social media for education and her doctoral work in leveraging Facebook for formal education. She also dabbles in culture and heritage. And presently, Ms. Ajita Deshmukh is working in the capacity of Assistant Professor at School of Education and Research, MIT ADT University, Pune. Today, Ms. Ajita is going to deliberate on the topic Creative Commons. So, all the attendees, today we are going to have an amazing and knowledgeable session, and definitely it is going to be an interactive one. So, I request all the attendees that if you have any queries, you can type in the chat box and we can take up the queries with our eminent speaker for today after the end of the session. So now I humbly request our speaker for today, the guest speaker for today, an eminent speaker, Ms. Ajita Deshmukh. She is already on the platform. Yes, ma'am, please take over. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it was so kind of you, and it feels good when you hear your own introduction that way. So yes, thank you. Thank you very much for having me to at Punjab and one of my favorite places in India. That is. So I hope the climate is good and everybody is good out there. So if the permissions are there, then I can start the screen share. So is the permission to start the screen share there?
Yes, ma'am, it must be there.
Okay. Yeah, I think you are able to
Yes,
see. Yes. And
yes, ma'am.
I'm
It's been
audible
shared.
also? Yes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, very much clear.
Yes, thank you so much. And yes, you can use the chat box and you can also unmute yourself and ask if you have to. It would be easier if you raise the hands. And so if I miss out on somebody, then definitely the organizing team has got people who will be looking out for raised hands. So you can stop me anytime. And we'll make it as an interactive session all the more. So today we are going to do Creative Commons licenses. Why is the need of this Creative Commons licenses? First of all, let's just have a look at this. So I'm not going to allow you to like sit back and relax. I'm going to keep on asking you questions that you have to think and answer either by unmuting or by typing out. Okay. So yeah, I'm not the strict teacher. Don't worry if the answers go wrong. That's fine. So if you have to prepare a presentation and you need some images for it, and you also are planning to show a video, then what do you normally do? So you can unmute yourself and tell me. Like I said, there are no correct and no wrong answers. Let's be free and open about all that. Yes. What is the usual procedure that you all follow? Well, I don't go ahead if I don't get the answers.
Now we generally can take screenshots.
Okay. And then use them there?
Yes. Insert
Okay.
them in the PPT.
Okay. Search from Google is the answer that I have got. So screenshots, search from Google are the two answers. Anything else anybody else does? Mostly, what is the faculty background here? Like, what subjects do they take?
Ma'am, mostly they are from education background, like
Okay,
education colleges, management
yes.
colleges, yes,
Okay, so
commerce.
suppose, yeah, so do you have any instances? Yeah, search content from Google, which is freeware, shareware. Okay, so uh, do you have certain topics where, let us say, uh, you need a photograph of a flower or maybe a good scene or something like that, and you remember having seen it on Facebook, or you remember having seen this photograph somewhere of your friend also, and then you're just asking ki just pass that photograph that you have, I want to use it in my PPT. Have we all done this? Like, mm, maybe you could ask me for a photograph of Marine Drive or the sea and all that, because I come from Mumbai. So, would you ask me for a photograph? And would you use it in the presentation if you're going to explain, let us say, about what is a horizon, or maybe you just want a scenery of a sea? And then how would you use it in the presentation? None of you have asked for the photographs? Yes. Okay. So I'm getting the answer in the chat boxes. Yes. So then what happens uh, usually is, these are the common answers that you gave. So I'm sitting with two systems. So I have a desktop just behind the laptop. So while you were giving me answers, I was putting your common answers there. So when you said screen share, I have just written it screenshot. I have written it as copy paste in my slides and content. And will you tell, if you are taking a photograph that I have in my phone that you have taken, will you mention it that you took a photograph from this person? Do you do that? Well, so that is where the need for this particular session comes in. Okay, so just think, is this correct? And are you taking away somebody's right? Is it correct to take a screenshot, or is it fine if tomorrow Gagandeep ma'am uses a photograph that I have taken, and I told her, take, use it in your presentation, no problem. She uses it in teaching also. Had she taken away my right? I only have given it to her, right? So, is she taking away my right? Okay, I'm getting answers in the chat box. Yes, I do mention credit to the source is important. Yes. Okay, so how does this work? Let us just see. If you are in a hall, okay, let's assume that this is a classroom, or maybe session chal raha hai to auditorium hai. And I have this water bottle. This is my water bottle. I have kept it here. Okay. And now what happens is I suddenly get called by my principal. So I just go out. And now there is no other water source. This is a full bottle, okay, by the way. And you are very thirsty. So what will you do in that case? You're not allowed to leave the auditorium. Even if you leave, there is nothing outside. So what would you do? You're really very thirsty and you don't know when I'll come back. But the bottle is there and you know it is full. Yes, please. Okay, I'm getting answers in the chat box. Yeah, but we'll take permission, but I'm not there. So whose permission will you take? So you want to drink this, but I'm not there in the auditorium or in the class anymore. So I can't give you the permission. So what will you do? And you're really thirsty. You have to have water. Okay, there is an answer there. Try to know the owner. You're still talking about the things that you see on the Google, right? Yeah, so I'm giving you an analogy. You I'm the owner of this, but I'm not available just now to take the permission or to give you the permission, then what will you say? Or what will you do? Are you taking away my right if you drink the water? Will you drink the water, first of all, because you're really very thirsty? Or you will just not drink the water? You really need water, otherwise you'll faint now. Then, okay, Shilpa ma'am is saying yes, yes, I will drink. Then, are you taking away my right? Because I never gave you a permission. So, is that correct? Is that right? Well, so that is where the difference comes in. Now, if we are going to use the same analogy, this bottle is nothing but the resource that is available on the Google. You found out whose it is, but the person is not there to give you the permission. And maybe you don't have enough. Then say sorry when the owner comes. Yes. Yeah, that's what we usually do. You will own up and say that, yes, you did this, right? So, exactly, the Creative Commons actually is something making it more better. It is something like putting up let us say, a cooler out there instead of a bottle from which we all can refill. So, if it's a cooler out there, yes, it belongs to the college, but it does not belong to me. It is the college ka property, but we all can use it. So you can't lift the cooler and go home. That still remains there, but we are actually allowed to use it. And we will always say that thanks to the college that this cooler is there, right? Thanks to the department that the cooler is there, and so we can drink water. Exactly similar situation for the Creative Commons thing. Now, while coming up with the answers that all of you have given, there are certain misconceptions that are there. Thankfully, has written this in the chat box. That is, if it is available on the internet, it is free. Now, I am very glad to see that none of the participants said that. What about this? If there is no symbol of copyright, so I can take? Do you think that any copyrighted material will have a symbol? Let's see and circle ke andar see. Do you think that if it is not there, then it is not copyrighted? Well, actually, that is a misconception. And again, the third one that is most spoken by all of us is I have given the credit, so I can use it. So, like somebody said, okay, we will drink the water and then we will say sorry later. But yeah, we've used it. We give the credit below, fine. We can use it. No, actually, these are the misconceptions. Because some people have said this all is fair in love, war. Some people also assume that, yeah, educational use, na, so chalega. Well, is it? So the answer to that obviously is no, a big no. So again, some thoughts to sharpen up. So when we say that class ke liye to use kar rahe hain, we are using it for educational purpose. Our purpose is very noble. Then is it called as fair use? Like I said, if I was not present and you would have used the water and you would have kept some water for me, and also you would not have you would have maintained the hygiene of the bottle, I could have considered it as fair use because I was not there to give you the permission. Okay. So does the same thing apply to the resource? Is it fine if you're using it for educational purpose? Can you answer yes or no in the chat box? I'm waiting for the answers. You want to unmute yourself and talk? You can. There is this concept of fair use that if it is for educational purpose, I can. Yes, fair use as long as it is for educational purpose. Okay. Shilpa ma'am is the quickest to answer. She has been almost like the quickest to answer for the previous 3 times. That's a hat trick for you, Shilpa ma'am. Yeah. So should we consider that people are okay? There are more answers. Let me just go ahead and check. No, we have to take a written permission before using it. Okay, so let's see what's the answer. Yes, it is false. We can't use it anything anywhere. Okay, so again, there are finer nuances of this. Now, what do we mean by finer nuances is if I am going to, okay, if I'm going to take and use it in my class, which is a closed group. Uh, Somebody's mic is open. Can we request the person to mute the person? Okay. So if I'm going to use it in the closed class, okay, I can still consider it as fair use, possibly good if we can get a written permission. But you may inform, like you said, that okay, I've used it. You may just drop an email and it's inside the class, fine. The moment this classroom gets live streamed, the way it is being just now being live streamed, it's not remaining conformed to your own class. So then it's not fair use. And now what happens is almost everybody, each one of us must be having a YouTube channel or a blog or something or the other. If nothing, then up on the website of the college, then it is out for the world. Then it is not free use or fair use, even if it is used only for educational purpose. No. As long as, yes, in a group, it is a closed group, the information is not going out. Yes, you may use it. Okay. The next thing, let's know certain things. If there is no such symbol, it means that it is copyrighted. You don't have to put this symbol. Organizers, can I request you to mute somebody whose mic is on?
Yes, Miss Sukhdeep Kaur, please mute yourself. Miss Sukhdeep Kaur.
Maybe the organizers have the admin has got it to mute them, mute all the
Yes,
participants.
it's mute now, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So if there is no symbol, it means it is copyrighted. So when I give my photograph to, let us say, Gagandeep ma'am, or let us say to Pargat Singh sir, that, yeah, I have this photograph showing the sea beach of Mumbai, but it is my copyright. Okay. So even if I am giving it, it doesn't mean that you can use it without acknowledging or having a written consent that for what purpose are you going to use it again. So if suppose you are going to use the photograph that I have taken, you have told me that yes, I'll use it only for my class because I want to show the students, or maybe I want to use it in a book or whatever, fine, I can allow you. But the same photograph, if you use it in your video, I may object because that was not the purpose for which you had taken permission from me. So if there is no symbol, then also it is copyrighted. And any place wherever you're going to use it, please see to it that there is a permission from the creator. And if you don't do it, obviously it is illegal, it is offense. We can't get away by saying that it was only for educational purpose. No, it doesn't work that way. So I'll just share with you one incident. This is a true incident that I was aware of, like when I shifted to Pune only 2 years ago. So I come from Mumbai basically. So there in schools, I was an educational advisor, academic advisor for science clubs and science labs. So there was one scholarship, not scholarship, there was a funding, there was a grant for school teachers. So I had told the school teachers that, see, there is this grant for collaboration. It was based in Hong Kong. So why don't you all apply for it? So there was this one teacher of biology who had applied. Okay. And he got it back, not because the content was less or like subsidiary, but with a remark that the images are plagiarized. Okay, so the copyright infringement is there. Um, yeah, so there's again some disturbance. All right, I'll try to continue by the time the organizers mute the person. So what happened was this teacher was the teacher had attended my session. So then he went back to the notes and found out that what all comes under copyright and what all comes under Creative Commons. But he was not able to locate. Then he called me up and he asked me that how do I do it? So believe me, it was very good of him to follow it and pursue it. He had to make changes thrice, but his grant was accepted and he got a very good grant for his biology project in the school. So if at all this helps each teacher out here to understand that, yeah, even a small part of copyright infringement can lead us to the part that, oh, your copyright infringement part hai, so you are not going to get the grant. Hopefully, this will help all of us to make better resources. So exactly what is fair use, that is the purpose and the nature of the use of material is known and it is within the limited part. What is the nature of the copyright work? Like, suppose if it is a song, then am I going to use the lyrics of it as a poetry? Then I may take permission only for the lyrics. Or do I want students to listen to Amitabh Bachchan's voice if he is going to talk about, let us say, Harivansh Rai Bachchan ji ki kavita? Then what am I looking at? Am I looking at copyright infringement of Harivansh Rai Bachchan ji, or I'm looking at copyright infringement of using Amitabh Bachchan's voice? So also I have to keep on checking. Okay, so what is the nature of the copyright work, and how is it going to affect in a whole way? Because the whole world now is going to be dominated by, not going to be, it is already being dominated by the traffic. Okay, so what usually happens is um, there is again, I mean, the organizers today are going to have a really tough time because they have to keep on muting the participants. Yeah. So what usually happens is, as a teacher or a teacher educator, I give a link to a blog. Maybe you give the link to my blog. That's fine. Why? Because the entire traffic to my blog or to my YouTube channel, you are not diverting it. In fact, you are adding to the traffic. But if you like something on my blog, you take a screenshot and you put it up in your presentation. What is happening is you are not allowing the traffic to be diverted to my blog. So that is going to be a problem to me because maybe I'm earning from my blog, then I will have a infringement in place and I will object to such type of uses. So please understand that, and of course, there's one more thing also, one more tendency of people. किसको पता चलता है? Well, pata chalta hai because the moment you go on, even if you see the slide share, you will see so many of them are copied. Okay. And so I know particularly a person where the person got so like disturbed by the way the images were used. He's also a professor from the university. So he actually called up that person and said that please take down it from your slide share. And this doesn't only happen only to the professors, but yeah, we see some idol or some snap on some social media, we use it, and that person is losing out on maybe a commission in the sense, if I like somebody's work, okay, if I like somebody's art, then somebody is going to tell me to create such an art for me. Okay, but if I'm going to copy instead of the original creator, then the person who wishes to get that created will not ask the original creator, will ask me, right? So I am not allowing the original creator to earn from it. So that is highly affecting the potential market. Now, this is what has actually happened. Like those who know about my Facebook, I mean, those who are friends with me on the Facebook, they know that I'm a mandala artist. So I keep on drawing something and just posting. So abroad, I'll not name anybody. There was this professor who asked me that can I use your mandala creations in my presentations because I want to show this to my students that how lines and patterns made can alter the thinking or how thinking and patterns go hand in hand. So this is actually how you, I mean, he could have just used it in his class, right? But that's not the ethical way of doing it. So he asked me via messenger, and then I said, yes, sir, please go ahead and use. If it is going to benefit the students, why not? Only then you're using it. So you're not affecting my potential market, or for that matter, any creator's market. So that is something that we have to keep in mind when we are talking of fair use. Any questions here so far, or should we go ahead? You can ask the questions, okay? So copyright is a right that is exclusive to the creator. So therefore, this is more used in domains of art rather than domain of education. Because that is my incentive, right? Somebody is liking it, so somebody is using it. And therefore, I will feel that, okay, let me make more patterns, let me make more of poetry recitation, let me make more of renditions or something like that. That is my incentive. I may also be getting financial compensation, like we discussed just now. So that is what is there. But always remember that copyright also gets expired. It also comes with an expiry date. How many of us know about this before we proceed ahead and before why by the time I just have a sip of water? Do we know that copyright can get expired? There is an expiry date for copyright? Answers please in the chat box. Okay, so yes, um, copyrights are coming with an expiry date, and okay, more 10-year, 15-year, 25 years expiry time. Okay. Well, sorry to say, but it's not like that. Expiry dates of copyright are, yes, Shilpa ma'am says 60 years. That is again only for the case of India, probably. Every copyright is uh, ruled by the laws of the land. So there are these laws that every country has got. Usually it is 60 years after the death of the creator. Okay. So now this is very interesting that if I made something today and that copyright is going to go ahead after my death, 60 years. What if I'm going to live for 50 more years? And that would make it like, and then 60. So that's 100 years. Okay. So till next 100 years, my copyright is going to stay with me and you can't use it. And that's quite pretty unfair, right? So why do we need to go away from copyright? Especially in education, we need to go away from copyright. There are two extremes. One is where every faculty will use all these presentations that we are making as these are my copyright and you can't use it. Well, you can go to my website and download all of these that are available because they come with a Creative Commons license. But we need to go away from copyrights, especially in education, because I want the reason. Why do you think we should go away from education? I mean, away from copyright in education. Any answers there? I'm seeing the chat. What will happen if we keep copyright just there in education? Why do we need to go away from it? Okay. Yes. So the message says that that will not allow me to use material and that would stop, that would have some hurdle in the education. Yes. So in education, basically the whole concept of education as per the UNESCO Sustainable Development Goals, access to education should be maximum. You have to remove the hurdles as much as possible that are there from education. You have to lower the cost of education. So if you are going to use copyrighted material, the cost of education is not going to come down. Okay. And therefore, we will have to uh, resort to material which is not copyrighted. So here comes who actually started all this. There's a very interesting story. If people would want to know, want to hear about this, then I'll give you a gist of it. The organizer will need to tell me that are you all up for a story? Because Creative Commons was started by advocate Lawrence Lessig, who is a lawyer in the US, and he also works in Harvard and Stanford about law and copyright and all that. And he was the first one and a very strong proponent that we should go away from copyright in education and go towards Creative Commons. So if the organizers could tell me whether should I go with a 4-line story, why this started, then I will tell the story. Otherwise, we'll just go ahead. Anybody from the organizers can tell me that whether are you all interested in knowing the story, that how did this all come about?
Yes, ma'am, you can go ahead with the story.
Okay, so this particular thing is also called as a Mickey Mouse case. You can Google it up later and with the name Lawrence Lessig. So what happened was, in fact, this is very surprising to know that we all, अगर हम ये सोच रहे हैं कि हमने आज तक कभी copyright infringement नहीं किया, so we're wrong, because even the song that you're singing, Happy Birthday to You, still has its copyright. Okay. So every time you sing that, ideally we should have taken the permission, right? But yeah. So what happened was Walt Disney, right? So Disney Productions or Walt Disney has got the copyright for Mickey Mouse, drawing of Mickey Mouse. And something in this particular part, when its copyright was going to get over, again going to get expired, because only the owners have got the right to extend it. Okay, so they had planned to extend it when Professor Lawrence Lessig came into the picture, and he said that no, there has to be a deadline beyond which you cannot extend the copyright, and it should now then not be there. So there was a huge case where he directly went to the Supreme Court and thus started the alternative licensing approach to reduce the copyright thing. So definitely those who are curious and those who are interested, please go ahead and see how this whole case came up, which is also called as the Mickey Mouse case. Okay. So, and the Creative Commons has got a very nice tagline, if you can see. When we share, everyone wins. So what do we mean by that? So tomorrow, suppose if Gagandeep ma'am wants to use the same presentation that is being used today, and she's going to conduct another session at some other place, she can just go to my website, download the presentation, put one slide in the beginning, and where my name came, she would just write there, originally created by, and she would mention it in the first slide in the acknowledgement that she has taken it from me, and she would not have to do anything with respect to this. And that's how, because I shared it in Creative Commons license. I have shared it under Creative Commons license. So everyone wins. She saves on her time. She saves on, time is the biggest resource. So she saves on so much of her time and she just uses it and it's fine. This then is not plagiarism. And I am not going to feel bad कि हाय मैंने सारा मेहनत किया and somebody is getting it ऐसे ही ready-made मिल रहा है. Well, that is the beauty, that you save your time. In other words, you use that time to create a resource that I have not made. And you share that resource again, you release it in Creative Commons, so that maybe later, if not me, there are others who can benefit from that particular resource. So that's how the Creative Commons always says, how do we know if it is expired? Okay, we'll come back to that, whether it is expired or not. So that's actually how the Creative Commons licensing functions. So what can we do with Creative Commons? We can do these 5 things. These are called as 5 R's of Creative Commons, where, like I said, if she wants to use the same thing as it is, okay, you can retain my presentation. You just have to give me the acknowledgement. That slide with my name will stay there. You will just add one slide additionally to what you are going to add. You can reuse it. So you are retaining it, you're also reusing it. Now you feel that, oh, I want some example here. Or maybe, you want to translate it in Gurumukhi. You can revise it. definitely go ahead and revise. You come across one more presentation or maybe a few more examples, photographs that you want to use, then you can use my presentation and you can use those, remix and recast and put it up as your own resource. So that would be your copyright. Where, but of course you can't copyright because we have released it in Creative Commons. So you will also have to release it in one of the Creative Commons license only. And then you can redistribute it. You can share it amongst all the students, the staff, general public. You can put it up on your website as long as you are not infringing on anything. Now, how does it work? We are going to go to the finer nuances of it. So if you just tell me, or if you just give me the credit, that is the first one that you see here, that is attribution. So you will be saying that you're giving me acknowledgement. In other words, you're attributing me. Second symbol you see, it is ulta C. This is actually just a copyright. So the Creative Commons proponents decided that if that is copyright, we will create an alternative license and therefore it will be called as copyleft. So therefore, wo C ke badle mein, it is ulta C with an arrow. With an arrow means you are free to share. But if you are going to share, you also will have to share alike. Like, for example, I'll just tell you the presentation that you're seeing here right now. In the first slide itself, you would have seen that this presentation is under CC by NCSA. Now, what do we mean by NCSA is I will not allow you to sell this presentation and earn money out of it because I have kept it free so that this can be used for an educational purpose. So you can't put hurdle in between. But I have not put it as non-derivative. So you can go ahead, you can translate it, you can add to it, you can remix it. But every time you do it, it is going to be share alike. So SA means share alike. So you will also have to use the same license. So you then cannot put a copyright, first of all, and you cannot even change the license. So you can't say that, okay, I am going to share it and say that somebody else, some third person can earn money out of it. No, if I have said NC, you will also have to share it in the NC format only. So this particular presentation goes worldwide. It will always be in the NC format. That is non-commercial format. So how do we do this? So we have like these 6 licenses that we have based on the 4 attributes that we have seen. So there are people who would say that, nahi, mujhe sirf aap acknowledge kar dijiye, just attribute me, I'm fine with it. I'm fine even if you're going to earn money out of it. Then the person would give this, the one that you're seeing just now, CC by. CC by means you just attribute. So you attribute this particular presentation was attributed to Ajita, that's fine. Then I would say the next one, that is CC by SA. CC by SA means whatever is the license that was used inside. So if I'm going to use some image, let us say if Pargat sir has given me an image, then if he has put CC by NC, I will also have to put CC by NC. If he says CC by ND also, then I will also have to put the same. I can't change it. Then comes the third, CC by NC. Like I said, that I don't allow it to be used as NC. That is, I will not allow this to be used by in commercial purpose. But you don't have to share it in the same way. Then that is this third one. See the fourth one, that is, I am forcing you also to be shared or to share it in a non-commercial manner. Then you see the fifth one, non-derivative. You can't change, you can't earn money, you can't do any changes to my presentation. Then that is CC by ND. And the last one, that is the strictest. It's like almost not a free open license anymore, because I don't allow you to earn money. I don't allow you to make changes also. So you can't translate, you can't add, you can't augment, you can't do anything to this. And you can't earn money out of it. So that is, it is still CC license, but it is, you can say on the spectrum, it is more towards the strictest and the stringent measures. So if you see this, just putting all of it together, you'll see the most open license is the one that is the leftmost. It is copy and publish, that is we call as CC BY. That is anybody can use anything. So everything that comes in the public domain is always copy and publish. You do not require attribution and anybody can use it even for commercial purpose. You can modify, you can adapt, you can change the license also. So that happens in the first two, that is public domain and CC BY. See, in the third one, CC BY SA, you can't change the license. Whereas CC BY ND, you can change the license, but you can't change anything inside it. And then as you see, commercial use is not allowed. Commercial use and derivative use is also not allowed. So as we move ahead, we have to keep on seeing which is that we want to use. And normally the question asked is, then how do I attribute? So usually we say TAL. We have to remember the acronym is TAL. T, that is the title, that is the name of the material that we are using, followed by the author's name. In some cases, institutions. Now, why do I say in some cases institution? Especially applicable for arts, where HMV or maybe T series, you record a particular song and the same song is there of belonging to a particular company. Maybe even your university says that whatever you upload is the copyright will belong to the university. Even then you'll have to consider that. Okay, like we have the MIT courseware, so that is coming under the free license. Even the Stanford History School also has. So they release it in Creative Commons, but the author and the institution both own the material. So just check how it is. Then the source, we also have to give the link because you don't want to divert the traffic, like I said. And then the license, it's better to mention what license it is. Any questions here? Because I'm going to give you a small quiz, a question coming. So this is one example. If it is a video, then I give the video, name of the video, I hyperlink it, by whom it is, and by what license it is. If it is a Creative Commons material, then again, I give the name of the material, then by whom it is, and what license does it have. Same way for the image. So this is how we actually attribute a person and attribute a work. And this will be same for any material, okay? Whether it is PDF, whether it is my notes that I have made, or it is an image. We are going to follow the same. So if this is clear, now think and answer. ABC, MCQ for you. So you can put it in the chat box. This is a image. This is the title of the image that you see. And the name of the person is there and the license is also there. So what would you, of course it is Creative Commons and that also non-derivative 2.0. Now it is 4.0 which is going on. Creative Commons CC licensing 4.0. So what do you think? Which one is the most appropriate way? I'm waiting for the answers in the chat. You just have to type either A or B or C, which is the correct, most appropriate way. What do you think? So most people are saying A, yes, because the name of the image is also there. I'm not just saying it's a photograph because this particular artist has given a title to the photograph, the image. And then I write by whom, and then I also say which license it is. Okay. This is the most appropriate way. And thank you for giving quick answers. So this is ideal attribution because of the same things that I have said. And the most important part is what I have done is everywhere I have given a link. So this link will take me to the photograph. This will link to the profile of the person. Then the source where it actually is hosted and the license deed. So now because of this, what happens? I have not in any way altered the traffic to the image, the traffic to the profile of the person, nor to the source, wherever it is hosted. So I am taking utmost care of all these things. So can we search content on Google? So this is how you actually search. How many people know this already? By now, I think after 1 year in the pandemic, people know this, right? So if it's a yes, I wouldn't explain and I'll go ahead. If it is a no, only then I'll explain. People know this Google Advanced Search? I'm waiting for the answer from your side. Do you all know this, how to search Google Advanced? Okay, I'm getting answers now. Please explain once. Okay, thanks for that heads up. So what we do is we go to the Google or any, yeah, so I'm getting answers, please explain. Yes, so we go to a search engine. In this case, it is a Google, and we type the keywords, and this is how it looks on the Google. So we are talking about Google Advanced Search. So once we do this, we have whether you want exactly these words. Now I'm using the words French cuisine, and if this is what it has to be used, then definitely I want only these words. Otherwise, it will throw up everything that contains these two words. So I don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to use is exactly those words. Then I can choose the language. I can choose from a particular region. I can choose in last 8 days, last 6 months. The most important thing is here, the usage rights. So not filtered by license will throw up anything and everything. But once you open it, then you'll see free to use or share, Creative Commons, CC by SA, free to use or share even commercially. Okay, free to share or modify. So it doesn't have ND. Free to use, share, modify, even commercially. So you can see these are the licenses that we have been talking about. Also, if you do this, you can, like, if it's put up here in your Google search, it will appear like this as advanced search. And then again, you can go and pick up whichever you want to use, the commercial license or the non-commercial license. So if somebody is already putting up no, I don't want to use it commercially, and you want to know who's not doing it, so you can choose an appropriate license. And when you do the Google search or when you do any uh, internet search basically, and if you use correct license, you will see that whatever the internet throws back at you will keep on changing as per the license. You can try this. Actually, you can try this. And even now, while the session is going on. Now, YouTube video, of course, you have license there also. So you go to YouTube, you choose filter here. The moment you choose filter, as soon as you put your topic and the filter, you will see a lot of features here. Pick up the Creative Commons, click on that, and the videos that are thrown up are also going to change. You can actually try that. I can give you like 2 minutes to check out whether the same YouTube videos are coming up. You can just use something like a sunset or a sunrise or something like that, which will throw lots of images and videos on the YouTube, and then just apply the license and see how the images that are being thrown up and how the videos that are being thrown up change. And you will also realize this if you're going to put up an educational term, anything from your subject, and try it out on that, even then the videos will change. So the same thing will be there even for Vimeo as well. And here you can see all the licenses. You just have to click on the license, and then you will be seen only that satisfies these licenses. So can we, I'll just wait for, like, I'll switch off my video and I'll mute myself and give you like a minute to just check this out, whether this works or not, for your advanced search for images and videos both. And then we come back. If it changes, you can just tell that, yes, it changes in the chat. So that we will come to know that, yes, you are actually trying out things. There's nothing better than having a live hands-on. So I'm just telling you this and you can actually try it out. And just confirm that, can you see this? You just have to, in the sense, I'm just taking you back to the YouTube. Yeah, it's somebody saying something. And please let me know if you have tried this and does it change? Also, did you know about this? If you knew about this, then fine. And people who had said that they wanted to know, or they wanted to like have one more explanation, is this clear now? And will you try this just now and tell me whether it is working for you or not? I'm waiting for the messages in the chat box. I would also like to know, when you're trying it out for the YouTube, what word are you actually trying to Google or trying to search on YouTube? And just try to tell me how the videos change once without any filter, and then once you apply the filter. Yeah, I'm just watching the chat. And wait for a minute and then we'll proceed ahead. Okay. So the first message is there. Yeah, somebody has messaged to me personally that yes, it is changing, and the person has tried on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, so thanks for that. I'm not taking the name because the person has individually replied. That means the person doesn't want to know, I mean, give out the name, right? Yeah, so a couple of more messages. Yes, so yeah, so Suman ma'am is saying that yes, it is changing. That is images, and now she's trying on YouTube. So yes, it will keep on changing. And you apply one CC creative license, Creative Commons license, and just see how the images and the videos change. Till then, we'll just go ahead. And yeah, again, there is another message. Yes, people are trying on YouTube. Yeah, so I'll wait. Not an issue. Just let me know that it does happen. It does change on YouTube. Yes. Okay. I got a individual message saying that yes, it does change on the YouTube as well. I mean, the videos that are coming up as a playlist or suggestions, they change the moment you apply the filter. Okay. Yes. So let's go ahead with this. So where all can you search for Creative Commons material then? So these are the places where you can actually search for Creative Commons materials. They are first and foremost Creative Commons search. Pixabay, very common for images. But yeah, you can see Jorum, you can see Expert, you can see Base. I'm going to show you some screenshots again. Very specifically for certain subjects, you have multimedia resources available to be used in Creative Commons license. So including music for Jamendo music. Okay. So All of these are there available so that you don't have to keep on creating constantly new things. Please use OERs as much as possible in your work. Now, even the policies and UGC and everybody like recommends more and more usage of OERs. And there is a document also that how we are supposed to use OER, because most of us are coming from teacher education background. There is a document on NCTE website also on the use of OERs, existing OERs. And whenever you create any material, please release it in Creative Commons, because that is what would be counted for. So they are also asking you how many e-resources or Creative Commons resources have you created. So you can just visit the website, it's there. So let's see this. This is how your Creative Commons website looks like. We will be going to the actual website to see how to give the license. We will be going. So let me just go ahead with this. This is how base looks like. This is a lot of content here from which you can actually take the creative license, like lots of documents here. So many of us require original documents and stuff like that while taking classes. So yes, this is a very, very good resource. Then as we said, that there are people who have been working very hard so that you and me can use resources very easily and students can access them without any cost. So you can see all the subjects here, and this is one of the forum that is there based in UK, from where you can access all open education resources, whatever are available. And it's not nothing is new. It's available in since 2002. Actually, I would just like to share with you that Creative Commons is completing 20 years this year. Okay, so it's like a huge celebration. I will be presenting my own podcasts as to how to create podcasts and how did I create my podcasts in Creative Commons during the Creative Commons Summit that is there in this, like starting from the next month or so. So I guess that could also be live streamed and it would be there. So there are many people who are working for Creative Commons so that common teachers and students do not face hurdles of resources. This is another one, Hippocampus. You can see like all subjects, right? Other than that, we have GeoGebra for maths and our very own Indian NROER for school subjects, O Labs for simulations by Amrita Vishwavidyalaya. So there are like multiple multimedia resources that are being used. PET resources for maths and science, that is also there, developed by Colorado, University of Colorado. Then we also have Marble, which is used for geography and to explore the world. Well, we all are very used to using Google Maps, but Google is a proprietary software. So if you want to teach, you can use Marble. And then how do I apply my Creative Commons license? Any idea? I'm sure quite a few people here, I know a few people here who have been working with Creative Commons. So would you like to share how you share and what type of license do you usually use for your work? Your principal, I think Dr. Pargat Singh would want to share. On what basis does it decide which license has to be used? Then I can demonstrate. Or anybody else who is already working with Creative Commons licenses and would like to share, how do you decide which license should be given for your own work? See, there are 6 licenses, right? Not everybody need to give the same license. So I may not want any restriction, any restriction. Is anybody saying something? I can hear few mics unmuted. You can please go ahead and speak. Okay, so how do we do this is, I'm just going to take you to the website. Just let me know if that is visible now. Is this visible? Organizers, can you just tell me whether, or participants also, can you just let me know whether this is what is visible? Creative Commons website with a nice bright sunflower. Yes, thank you. So, okay, so first I have to decide which particular license do I want to give. Fine, that I don't know about it. The Creative Commons website takes care of all of it. Okay, so now I'm going to see share your work. So now I'm going to choose a license here. So if I just scroll down, I will have to choose a feature. So I just click on this, which is get started. So here is how my license is going to be chosen. Now I am not so very sure कि क्या मुझे चाहिए, या I don't know these 6 licenses very well. There is a disturbance. Okay, I have muted the participant. Okay, fine. So if I do not know what sort of license should I be using, and I don't know about the jargon, then there are questions. So am I willing that my presentation of today uh, could be adapted? So yes. Then I can also say that yes, but as long as people also give the same license, then I'll say share alike. I would want you all to see the changes that happen on the right hand side. Okay. So the moment I say yes, see, this has changed. And immediately this left C has come in. Would I want commercial use of my work? No, I don't want anybody to earn money out of it because this is for educational purpose. So I'm going to say no, and then see what happens. The dollar with a cross. So that means nobody can make use of this. Now also notice the change. This is not a free culture license. Why not a free culture license? Because I'm putting restriction, right? That you also can't earn money, and whenever you share, you also will have to save the use the same license. This is not so much of a free culture, but yeah, I can do that. And then what do I do? You can see this code here, this particular emblem icon. So I will just copy this part, copy paste into my work. Like you will see in this particular presentation, the first slide it is there. And also if I want a compactor icon, I can just make the icon very compact, become very small, but I want a normal one. And what if it's in my blog? Then I'll just copy this, and this is the code that is there. I can just put up in my web page. Okay, so my web page, a certain blog becomes on goes under CC license and stuff like that. And the remaining part, which doesn't contain the CC license, will remain copyrighted to me. So I can do this as well. Is this part clear? Could you just drop a message quickly to tell me whether this part is clear or not? Yeah, just a yes or a no. Is this part clear? Yes, clear. Thank you. Thank you so much. So after this, let's go back to the presentation. Is the presentation clear? You are able to view the presentation, right? So this is how we apply Creative Commons license to our individual work. And like I said, this is the restrictions that we have. So to the left, it is public domain. Public domain, usually government records are under public domain. Then you can also have the CC BY, and then anybody can use it. CC BY SA, I am forcing you a little bit to use the license that I have used. I'm then also saying non-commercial is fine. But if I say non-commercial, non-derivative, I'm restricting you so much. That's like the most restrictive part, which is not expected in education. So whenever you try to uh, give Creative Commons license to your own work, you may choose to have it non-commercial. Plus, but please do not try to put it as non-derivative. Is my honest and humble request to every educator out there. Because what happens is you may create some beautiful resource in Punjabi, in Gurumukhi. I might want to translate it into Marathi or Bengali. And if you have said that it is non-derivative, then it would create a problem, right? I mean, I would have that restriction on use. So while something as simple as, if we are going to talk about the rice, variety of rice, and I know that in your one of your presentations you have used very nice basmati chawal, and mm, the rice that's there in Punjab, and the rice fields that are there. I want to use those photographs, but I want to also add what is the traditional rice found in Maharashtra, maybe Tamil Nadu, maybe Bengal, but you have put the license of non-derivative, then I can't work on it at all. So that is restrictive. So not allowing to make commercial use is fine, but please allow more and more derivative work to happen. Some form has come up in the chat. So public domain, no exclusive rights are there. Rights may have expired, and somebody had asked, how do we know whether the right was expired? So we are going to come to that now. How do you know that a right has been expired? Well, if you take the image that is there, you can do the image search of that particular image when it was created. So once you know when it was created, you will also look up whether the creator is dead or alive. So if it is 60 years more than that, it automatically goes into public domain. And that is the reason why we can use Shakespeare's works in, we can use the work of Shakespeare in our teaching, learning, and in our textbooks, because that's happened like quite long back. But I can't use, let us say, a contemporary author's work without asking, because that's not yet in public domain. Also, any government record, okay, is under public domain. Okay, rights have been forfeited. That is, the government decides that this cannot be copyrighted. Okay, then also that copyright is forfeited. And maybe it is inapplicable. So now when we do all this, in India, the concept of copyright is catching up yet, and we are not yet so much aware of it. But I'll tell you, this is where the people who are concerned with history and heritage will come in, like be more interested in. Suppose you have your grandparents' diary. Maybe you have your grandmother's diary where she has noted down the recipes. Maybe you have your grandfather's diary where he has noted down certain things of how he used to run the business. Then is that, I have to figure out people to be muted. Can the organizing team please take care of it? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So, does this grandfather's diary or grandmother's diary, uh, if your grandparent has already expired, does the copyright belong to you? Well, we think that it belongs to us, but actually speaking, no, unless and until it is 60 years across. So, after their expiry. So, this is where your heritage management comes in. Okay. And therefore, you can actually manage things which are your heritage, and that should not be used by anybody without giving you the credit. So that's how your public domain, your Creative Commons, and your copyright and all other things work. Did I answer the question that was asked by that? How do we know whether the copyright has been expired or not? It was asked by a person named R. Okay, so I hope I have answered your question there. Did I answer your question, Professor? Professor R. Yeah. Okay, anyway. So the takeaway of this particular session is definitely please try to select, reuse, and modify the content only after verifying the license. Give proper attribution and choose an appropriate license for your own work. That's how we have open education where we convert mirrors into windows. Please throw open the education and minimize and reduce the hurdles and obstacles in the education sector as much as possible. Open education is here and we're celebrating 20 years of it. So with that, I will take questions now and if there are any.
Is there any query you yourself or you can in the chat? Yes, ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, ma'am. If we have, if we want to like create some website, like something like Creative Commons for our institute, for our students, like what would be the way out? Do we need to take some permission?
No, you don't have to create a website like Creative Commons in the sense.
Like if we want to create like a pool for something for our students.
For a repository, right?
Yes.
Yes, so you don't have to create like
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਸੀ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੋ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ
can we just repeat it? Yeah. You can put up a repository for your own students. You'll just have to ensure that every resource that you're putting up on the repository has got the Creative Commons license in place.
Okay.
Otherwise, then it would be copyrighted to that particular person. So please ensure all the material that you are going to put up on the repository has this licensing. And you can
Okay,
use the
ma'am.
Creative Commons website to generate the license and then copy paste into your work the way I demonstrated sometime.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, anyone? Yes, ma'am. Kindly answer the question again about expiry of the license. Another query.
Okay.
The question,
Yes. So, see, the expiry of copyright actually is different from country to country. Usually, most of the countries have it as 60 years after the expiry of the creator. Okay, and not from the work. There are certain countries which will say 70 years from when the work was created. But usually it is whichever is longer. Okay, so usually we consider it as 60 years at many places. So you'll have to check whether this particular resource that you're going to use is originally from which country. And you'll have to comply to that copyright parts that are there mentioned.
Yes, if there is any another query. Ma'am, people are typing like it's a wonderful session.
Yeah, thank you. I hope it is not, it's not because of they just want to get this over quickly.
If there is any other query related to the session, I think people are satisfied, ma'am. Actually, it was a stirring session with your live demonstrations also.
Okay.
So I think there is no other query.
Okay, so we can end the session, and anybody who
Yes,
wants
ma'am.
to like have the slides, please look out for the slides on my website only after the weekend. Okay, so I'll stop sharing.
So thank you, ma'am. So I think it was a wonderful session. You started with the beautiful example of water bottle and the camper that we can relate to, right? So it was a very beautiful session. You stirred the mind with the live demonstrations, and thank you very much for deliberating the lesser known nuisances of the Creative Commons in such an interesting and catchy manner. So thank you very much for sharing your time and energy with us. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. Stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye. I'll leave the
Thank
meeting
you.
now.
Thank you. 1 minute, please, ma'am.
Yes.
I request all the participants, please switch on your cameras for a photograph, please. So thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you all. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jita, for sparing your valuable time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me here. And I wish it was not Corona, then I would have been there in Punjab. Thank you.